Texas Business Bites. Texas business, Texas style.
On today's Texas Business Bites, we're going to be focusing on a topic that's on everyone's mind, data, and how we can be smart when thinking about how to collect, interact, and streamline this important information from prospects, customers, and even employees. We have as our guest today, Peter Ford, who is Vice President of Interactive at SCAi Promotions. Hi, Peter. Thanks for being our guest. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you, Carl?
I'm excellent, excellent. Before we start talking about the specific solution, which is PrizePad, that we're going to be focusing on today, tell us a little bit more about, the history of collecting data with your company.
Well, we got our start back in the early '80s with what's now known as fantasy sports games, which would attract hundreds of thousands of users. And users would always exchange their profile in order to play the game. So we would collect literally hundreds of thousands of names and addresses and phone numbers, etc.
Well, I hear it all the time, and we get lots of emails and questions and phone calls saying, big data is a big topic at the moment. Everyone's talking about big data. What does that mean in your world when you're interacting with that?
Well, people refer to it in a lot of different ways. We talk about eyeballs, how many people see what you're promoting. And so everybody, there's a count behind everything we do. And so if we're attracting 100,000 people to one particular promotion, they may come back once, they may come back 10 times during the campaign. So in that sense, we have a million pieces of data.
So one of the things I think is always been a challenge, because let's take a scenario. Okay, so we all do trade shows, and you've got the big goldfish bowl in front of you, and you go and ask people to put their business cards in there. And I think it's called PrizePad, isn't it? The solution that we're going to
Correct.
be talking about, PrizePad. How does that sort of change that picture instead of having to put your business card in a goldfish bowl?
That's a great question. The actual outcome is the same. You're going to entice an attendee of that trade show to come talk to you in your booth by the chance to win something. And so that fishbowl in the olden days, you'd drop your business card in and you'd walk away, and there was a small chance that someone might call you 2 days later to say that you won whatever the prize was. In the case of PrizePad, an automated device based on the Apple iPad, people, first of all, consumers, attendees, are attracted to the booth by the chance to interact with this unique technological wonder, put in their names and addresses quickly, and have a chance to find out instantly whether they won or not. Far more interesting than just dropping your business card in a fishbowl. And on the other side of that, our customers, our clients, are collecting that information digitally, and so there's no transposing of information. Whereas in the fishbowl days, you'd have to take that card out and type out all the information. Lots of room for error. The new way is faster, quicker, more interesting for the consumer, for the show attendee in this case, and far better for our clients.
So I've seen the PrizePad, of course. I've been down in your offices. You've showcased it to me. And what I love about it is that it actually tells you instantly whether you've won or not. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I saw when I was looking at it. It was like, oh my goodness, it's actually an instant message rather than, okay, well, check our website or I'll call you in about,
maybe.
And then all of a sudden it changes that that feel of interaction.
What you're talking about there, Carl, is instant win versus what we refer to as sweeps notification. People have a hard time walking by the chance to win something instantly because they realize it's a small amount of time. It'll be in one session. They'll go in, they'll sign the name, and they'll find out whether they won or not, and they're done. That makes it very exciting. If they say no and walk by that chance to win instantly, they're always looking over their shoulders at that person behind them thinking, oh, I sure hope they don't win because that would have been a missed opportunity for me. So, instant win is definitely a very big motivator for our clients.
One of the things that, again, I've done trade shows all over the world, and I've had a bag of tchotchkes, a mouse mats, mouse pads. Now, one of the things I heard you'd say, and I want you to explain to the viewers a little bit more about what you mean by this. You talk about prize-based prizes, cloud-based prizes. What do you mean by that?
Well, if you have one fishbowl, you have X amount of cards in it. You could have 5 fishbowls scattered around, but you'd have to somehow gather all those cards together. And if you had fishbowls in different cities or countries, you'd have to mail all the entries all to one fishbowl that you could draw one winner out of. In our case, we have a cloud-based prizing system, and you can have 1 or 10 or 1,000 or 10,000 iPads all working simultaneously anywhere in the world, with everyone vying for one cloud-based prize.
Wow!
So the beauty is you can ramp up. You can ramp up your number of iPads being used. So you find that they're successful in one show, and you want to add them to another show, or you want to add them on the streets or at festivals. You can ramp up very, very quickly with just the cost of the iPad. Very interesting.
So I take it that you've done that in the past with other clients, and is that something that has brought people back to buy the solution on a regular basis?
Yeah, it's a great question. Not only does the prize pad motivate the consumer to exchange their profile for a chance to win, it also markets back to them in real time. So as soon as that consumer has played, they've entered their email address or their cell phone number, and they've played and they found out whether they won or not instantly, they'll look down at their phones and there'll be an email and or a text message waiting for them from the client that they just visited. And that can contain a white paper. It could contain another opportunity to win. It could contain information on their latest product release. So the flow of marketing continues.
So yeah, I heard you say it's all over the world. Can you actually deliver the prize pad solution, in multiple languages?
Absolutely, multiple languages, anywhere that there's an iPad and an internet connection. That's all we need. Which is interesting because we with iPads being both Wi-Fi and cellular connected, you can be out in the middle of a field. You could be at a Taste of Chicago, where there's 10,000 people, gourmet foodies walking around a large festival, and you could have a team of ambassadors literally wading through that crowd, sponsored by Kraft, collecting names and addresses of people that love food. And that would be an incredibly focused group of people for Kraft to get their hands on.
So what you're saying is that you can actually be pretty focused in on the event that you're at. You can then start to niche those people out that you collect the information on, and then you can start to
market back to them.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is very unique.
Now, I know that one of the things that we've talked about, is consumers. Now, in the employee sector, I mean, is prize pad something that you could look at inside the workplace for incentives and things like that? Have you ever done any of those?
We have. We've got a number of customers that use them in telemarketing centers. The telemarketing centers where when someone achieves a goal, when a telemarketer makes a sale, they can be handed a prize pad to simply play a quick game that will determine some level of commission boost or some level of spiff, as they say in the business. So that's it's proven to be an amazing motivator. One of our large call center clients has seen a 12% boost in the productivity of their employees because of prize pad.
Wow. Well, that's very interesting because I know that engagement in the workplace, especially in the sales format, is very topical at the moment. And
sure is.
Well, I know we're going to put a link on underneath this this feature when we put it on our website. So underneath, you can click on it and you can find out more information about PrizePad and also about SCAi. Peter, thanks so much for being a guest on our show today. Really enjoyed the subject, and I know I want you on as well to talk about more things about how to be more interactive in the promotional space. So thanks, Peter.
Thank you, Carl.